All right, hey, y'all, welcome to the channel. Thank you so much for your support. I appreciate you all for being here. Please say hello. Let me know that you're tuned in. And let me know if you can hear me and see me clearly. Okay, we're here for the Monday Night Live at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on the East Coast. You all let me know that you're here. I give you all a couple of minutes to get on. I know that sometime, based on, hold on, y'all. I know sometime based on what you all tell me, this particular platform doesn't always let you all know that I'm live. So please make sure, if that's the case for you, if this platform doesn't always let you know that I'm live, just make sure that you tune in to the community tab. And just know that every Monday at 6:30 p.m. again Eastern Standard Time, that I'll be live. Okay, I got something on my shirt earlier, but that's okay. We're gonna keep it going. So I hope you all had a good day. Hold on, y'all, let me see. Sometime when I music. Okay. Hey y'all, welcome. Thank you so much for your support. Who do we have in the house tonight? Before we get started, y'all, tonight's topic is one that I feel like is very important. Especially if you're a parent, grandparent, anyone caring for a child or children in the school system. Hey, Angel, thank you so much for being here. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with this particular platform, but thank you so much for still being on, okay? Yes, I appreciate your support so much. Thank you. I hope that you had a great day today. Y'all, this weather is getting kind of tricky. It started out, was it raining earlier today? It started out like it was looking like it was gonna rain. I don't know if it actually rained or not, but from my research, it seems like all across the country there has been some very concerning weather. Okay, y'all, let me start with just a few updates before I get into tonight's topic. Okay, 77 in southern Arkansas, raining. Right now it's about 73 where I am in Georgia. And yeah, y'all, the weather is like, it's kind of crazy. As a matter of fact, let me take this seatbelt off because I'm parked. You know what? Hold on just a minute, y'all. Hey, thank you so much for your support. I appreciate you. Y'all know what? Hold on. I'm going to go to a, hold on just a minute, y'all. I'm going to go to a little different spot real quick. Thank you all so much for being on. Shout out to you all. And let me see. Arkansas is in the house. California is in the house. Georgia is in the house. Okay, I told you all I'm here in Georgia. You all let me know where you're tuned in from, okay? Let me make this quick move, and then I'm going to get set up so that I can bring you all some news, okay? While I wait for a few more people to get on, y'all, what are some topics that we should talk about? We're having some crazy weather. Now, for my viewers in California, is it true that you all got snow? Can somebody tell me what's happening in California? Was there a blizzard? Was there snow? Somebody tell me what's happening in California. All right, hold on just a minute, y'all. I'm gonna go over here to another little spot. All right, I'm gonna park right over here. Okay, this will be good. It's starting to get a little darker here, but it's all good. Okay, all right, I think this is a better spot, y'all. So in California, what's going on there? All right, hey Jumpy Jenny, thank you so much for being on. Yeah, y'all, this weather is crazy. Okay, roads got shut down, mudslides, is cold. Okay, you all please make sure that no matter where you're watching from, where you're tuning in from, that you're safe. Okay, a couple of stories before we get into tonight's topic. Hold on just a minute, y'all. I got an update. This really needs to be its own video, but I think what I'm gonna do is just talk about it on tonight's episode. Hold on, y'all. Okay, let me make sure this light. Let me see. Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to get set up here. Y'all know normally I have my phone in this little like holder thing, but I gotta get another one because that one doesn't work anymore. Let me see. I'm trying to get set up here, y'all. Thank you so much for your patience. Okay, I think this is good. All right, I think this will be good. Okay, can you all see me and hear me clearly? Are you all able to see me and hear me clearly? Is it okay if I just mention a few more topics, y'all, before we get started? Is that okay? Yes, thank you. Okay, yeah, I wanted to give you all an update on what was happening in hold on, let me see. Hold on just a minute, y'all. This is very important. I wanted to add it to tonight's show, so give me just a moment so that I can find the article. Let me see. Let me see. And I'm looking around. It looks like it almost looked like it's gonna start raining again here in Georgia. I don't know what's going on with the weather, y'all. Okay, okay. Hold on just a minute, y'all. Let me see what's going on here. Okay, that's a lady walking. You know, you got to keep y'all see her walking by? Hey, you got to keep your head on swivel, right? Okay. All right, listen, y'all. Now, this is quite concerning, okay? Thank you all so much for your patience. Let me go back to the one that I was trying to find the article that I shared earlier. Okay, I'll just go with this one. Okay, y'all. So, here on the channel, first of all, I hope you all are doing great. I hope you had a wonderful start to your week. I'm Andrea from Andrea Speaks TV. If this is your first time tuning in, thank you so much for your support. I've been covering what's been happening in East Palestine, Ohio, with a train derailment that happened almost a month ago now. We're coming up on almost a month. It happened February 3rd. And not only did the train derail, you can look at the video that I did about it here on the channel. Not only did the train derail, but also it was decided as a way to, I guess, what you could say, lessen the effects of, the possible chemicals exploding and sending shrapnel miles and miles, in the surrounding area. The decision was made to do a controlled burn. Well, when that controlled burn took place, chemicals, gases, some what we're learning, very toxic chemicals were released into the atmosphere, into the water. Not only were people getting sick, there were reports that fish were dying in nearby rivers and streams. People are still dealing with the effects of what happened. I agree with you, Captain. Someone needs to be accountable for that decision. It seems like the federal government is placing blame on Norfolk Southern. My question is, should more, and the soil. That's right, Angel. The soil. And, there are a lot of questions surrounding that. Hold on, y'all. I got to find this article that I'm looking for. Because it shared exactly what I wanted you all to know. Hold on just a minute, y'all. It released those chemicals in the soil, in the water, and just very, very concerning, right? So much so, and this brings me to the report that I'm going to speak about this evening. So much so that now, okay, without prior knowledge, what they're saying, or without a heads up, now this contaminated soil, water is being shipped to other areas of the country. Did you all know that? And the areas where it's going, I believe it was Texas, maybe Houston, Texas. And there's another area as well. But they're sending this to other areas of the country. Let me know, did you all know about this or not? Let me know if you all knew about, or were you all aware that they're sending? Yes, Angel. The question is why, okay? And I'm going to talk about it. I found a really good article that I want to speak about. And so let me see. I'm going back to the community tab so that I can pull it up and find it. Okay, let me see where this came. Hold on just a minute, y'all. So they're sending it to Texas and Michigan. Those are the two areas, okay? Texas and Michigan. So let me see, Texas. And the reason why I'm sharing this is not to scare you all, but I want you to know that, hey, if they're doing something like this, to other communities, other states, who's to say that they wouldn't try this or try something like this in your area, okay? All right. I found the article, so let me read to you all what it says, okay? Now, listen, y'all. Again, I'm not trying to scare you. I'm trying to make you aware. I hope you all can still see me. It's starting to get a little bit dark. I may have to go and park under the light, but hopefully you all are still able to hear me and see me. Listen, y'all, we're going to get into our education story, but listen to this. I really want you to know about this. Texas and Michigan officials say they didn't know that water, that's what I'm saying, Captain. Hey, it's a lot of questions about this. And not only that, but a lot of people are saying that it's contaminating some of the, it's contaminating a lot of the farmland, okay? Which, again, that affects our food shortage, our food supply, that affects our food supply. food availability. It's really alarming. Texas and Michigan officials say they didn't know that water and soil from the Ohio train wreck would be transported into their jurisdiction. Okay, listen to this, y'all. The Federal Environmental Protection Agency, or the EPA, has ordered Norfolk Southern to stop its shipment of hazardous waste from the site of the train derailment in East Palestine, Ohio, so that it can review the company's plans for disposal. Listen to this, y'all. Officials in Texas and Michigan are complaining. The officials now, elected officials, government officials, right? They are complaining that they didn't receive any warning. Listen to this, y'all. Officials, listen, okay, think about your local community when I talk about this, right? Officials in Texas and Michigan are complaining they didn't receive any warning that contaminated water and soil from the train derailment in East Palestine, Ohio, would be shipped into their jurisdictions for disposal. So basically, they're taking the contaminated water, the contaminated soil from that site, and they're shipping it for disposal to other areas, okay? About 2 million gallons of firefighting water from the train derailment site were expected to be disposed in Harris County, Texas. Okay, is that Houston, y'all? Somebody let me know, where is Harris County, Texas? Is that Houston? Okay, I think that is Houston, but I'm not exactly sure, okay? Let me bring it a little bit closer so you all, because I really want you all to hear about this, okay? All right. Let me know, y'all, is Harris County, Texas, is that Houston? I think it is, but I'm not exactly sure, okay? 2 million gallons of firefighting water, y'all, from the train derailment site were expected to be disposed in Harris County, Texas, with about 500,000 gallons already there, according to the county's chief executive, okay? Here's a quote by Judge Lena Hidalgo, who said on this past Thursday, "It's a very real problem. We were told yesterday the materials were coming, only to learn today they've been here for a week." Now, first of all, y'all, why didn't they let the people in those communities know that they were shipping all of this toxic water, toxic soil to their communities? Why didn't they tell them? But wait a minute, are you surprised that they didn't tell them? You know, why didn't they want people to know about that? Why do you think that's the case? Ohio governor, you all heard me talk about that, right? Ohio governor Mike DeWine was not briefed on where in the country the shipments would be sent. His spokesperson told CNN, but this is typical, the article says, as the train company is responsible for the transport of material and the EPA is responsible for regulating that transport, okay? Here's a quote by the department, who said in a statement to CNN on Saturday, EPA, and I quote, "EPA will ensure that all waste is disposed of in a safe and lawful manner at the EPA certified facilities." Okay, this is what they're talking about, y'all. EPA certified facilities, right? To prevent further release of hazardous substances and impacts to communities. Okay, the department said in a statement to CNN on Saturday. Now, wait a minute, did I just read something that's really ironic? The EPA will ensure that all waste is disposed of in a safe and lawful manner at EPA certified facilities to prevent further release of hazardous substances, and impacts to communities, the department said in a statement to CNN on Saturday. But wait a minute now. Those people, okay, this area, and hello to everyone who's just joining us. Thank you all so much. I'm right now, before I get into our topic about the next crisis that's going to shock you, I'm talking about the fact that soil and water from the train derailment site in East Palestine, Ohio, is being shipped to other parts of the country without, allegedly, the heads up or without the okay from the officials in those communities where it's being sent to. What are your thoughts on that? I saw a couple of comments that came through, so I want to take a minute to acknowledge those. You know, it's very concerning. What are they trying to do, right? That's the problem. It's in the soil. I agree. You know, we think about it. We're growing our food from the soil. right? Trees are growing. Plant life is growing from the soil. Wow, that's a powerful statement, Angel. I'm reading what you were saying about, wow, a lot of people would agree with you, right? Listen, y'all, 3 weeks after the derailment, the area surrounding the site is, and I quote, definitely looking better. This is according to the EPA director, right? Federal agencies have begun transitioning from an initial emergency response phase to a remediation phase, the director said. Federal Emergency Management Agency and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention personnel have also arrived to assist with the cleanup to address community concerns. Okay. Um. Okay. Skipping down a little bit, it says contaminated soil. Okay, someone mentioned soil earlier. Contaminated soil from the derailment site was being taken to the U.S. Ecology Wayne Disposal in Belleville, Michigan. Okay, hey, Dawn, you're right on time. Okay, thank you so much for your support. Dawn, I'm right here now talking about, we're all having a conversation here in the community, talking about the fact that contaminated soil and contaminated water, okay, are being sent to communities in Michigan and Texas. And the people there's a public outcry saying, hey, no one told us. The elected officials, the officials there are saying that, hey, no one told us. No one gave us the heads up. And it's very, very concerning. Okay. All right. Listen, y'all. Okay. Again, right. It's very concerning. Who's going to want to eat fresh vegetables? Oh, you're saying you're afraid to buy them anywhere now. Well, you know what? I definitely feel like we all need to really know where our food is coming from. As much as possible, grow our own food. And I know that, certain times of the year, you can only grow certain things depending on where you live and the time of year. But definitely look at the labels, know where your food is coming from, tap in with your local farmers, farmers markets. That would be a solution to that, okay? But please continue to do your research, okay? Know where your food is coming from. But that's a legitimate concern to have, Don. Okay, y'all, listen to this, right? Contaminated soil, okay, from the derailment site was being taken to the U.S. Ecology Wayne Disposal in Belleville, Michigan. U.S. Representative Debbie Dingell of Michigan said Friday, okay? She told CNN's Frederica Whitfield on Saturday that neither she nor Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer were aware of plans for toxic waste to be delivered to disposal sites in her district. Why didn't they tell the people, y'all? That's my question. Did they want us to know about it? Okay. Representative Dingell made the statement that she called, or I'm sorry, I don't know if it's he or she. Okay, I'm sorry. She said, I quote, I called everybody. Nobody had really been given a heads up that they were coming here. Think about that, y'all. Okay. Dingell represents Michigan's 6th congressional district, which is home to 2 waste disposal sites. Okay. I'm gonna give you all some more information about this in another video. President Biden, I think he intervened. Let me see if I can just make a statement on. Give me just a second, y'all. Just one moment, okay? Let's see. Okay. Okay, thank you, Angel. That's what I was thinking, that Houston is Harris County. Okay, so thank you so much. Thank you so much for that, looking that up. But I just saw an article, y'all, where it said that it's going to, so they stopped it, but then it's going to resume, okay? Hold on, let me see if I can find it. But this is very concerning, okay? I want you to do your research on this. And again, y'all, you see kind of how it's getting. So, when I'm looking around, I'm aware of my surroundings as well, okay? I'm in a straight area, though, okay? All right, let's see. Okay, I did see something earlier. Um, Now I will say this in regards to President Biden. He made the statement 3 days ago that at this point he's not planning to go to East Palestine. Someone let me know, did former President Trump, did he go? I know he stated that he was going to go. I need to do my research on that. I don't know if he actually went. I'm pretty sure that if he said he was going, he probably went, but I just haven't researched to follow up and see what exactly happened there with him visiting. Or oh, he did go. Okay. So let me read about this. So in East Palestine, who shows up isn't necessarily a sign of who's helping. What? Okay, so he did visit. Um and he looks like he took some water there. Okay. I'll follow up with all this in another video. I do want to take a minute and acknowledge your comments in the middle of the oh wow. I'm telling you. Wow. Thank you all so much for your comments and contributing to the channel. I'm going to talk about that in another video, but y'all listen. You know, that's a lot of people say that, Angel. You know, a lot of people have compared what happened in East Palestine, even though it wasn't nuclear related, right? A lot of people have compared to what happened. A lot of people have compared what happened in East Palestine, Ohio, to the Chernobyl incident many years ago, right? And saying that that's almost really. So when people were comparing it, from what I read, the research, they were saying that that was really like America's, almost like America's Chernobyl disaster. Like that's how serious and very severe and, you know, such a devastating event. They were saying that it's pretty much similar, you know, to that incident. Okay. Look like the wind is blowing, y'all. It's getting dark, but it's almost really getting like a cloudy dark. Wow. Okay. But again, y'all, I'm prepared. So even on the go, okay, despite whatever type of weather, I'm prepared. Okay. Yeah, around the world, it is big news. I agree, Angel. Okay, y'all, listen, I want to talk about the next crisis, right? You all have seen the thumbnail to this video, the next crisis. Now, judging on the thumbnail, okay, what do you all think I'm talking about? Maybe you can go back. I don't know if you can go back and look at the picture, but based on the thumbnail, okay, a crisis in what area? What could I be talking about? Or what do you all think that I'm talking about when I'm talking about the next crisis? Can anyone let me know what you think the topic is based on the picture? Anyone have any idea? Or you may say, well, Andrea, I can't go back and see it, or I forgot. Anyone have any idea? Let's see. There was an answer. Not quite, Captain. Although those are some very concerning topics. I'm actually talking about education. Do any of you all have children in the school system? Children, grandchildren? You know, people with children. I have a daughter who's in the school system. And whether or not you're aware of it, there is a crisis right now that is happening. Some would say the crisis is brewing. Some would even say that the crisis is already here. I would say it's a combination of things, y'all, and on so many levels. But I really want to talk about that. This is a topic that's near and dear to my heart because, you know, not only not only because I have a child. Yes, okay, very good, Angel, very good. Not only, so maybe Angel, you can attest to the fact that some of the information that I'm about to share is true. Let me know if you're seeing this in your area. Y'all, it's really mind-blowing, the things that are happening now in education, in the school system. And I want to talk about public school in particular when I speak about this. The effects of well, first of all, let me preface this by saying this. There were so many learning gaps already before the pandemic with many, many students. And when I say learning gaps, meaning that many students were, let's say, for example, I'm trying to break it down. Let's say that you have students who were in the 7th grade, maybe, but they're not performing on the 7th grade level. They may be performing based on their reading, writing, other factors. You could have a student in the 7th grade, but they would be performing on the level of maybe, let's say, like a 4th or 5th grader, behind several grade levels. Well, so we already had that going on, right, throughout the country. Some would even say maybe throughout the world, but I'm just going to talk about here in America, right? And like I told you all, I'm here in Georgia. Maybe you're seeing some of the same things in your state. Well, when the pandemic came along, which forced us, okay, notice I'm saying forced, right? Which forced public school to what? Shut its doors and make the sudden, unplanned transition to what? Virtual learning, right? Well, research says, and a lot of people, you can do your research on this, but research says that, students, especially young students, there's a lot of research on this topic, right? But a lot of students learn best, hands-on. They benefit, a part of their development is interacting with other people, that social development. So a lot of skills and important developmental skills were lost, taken away, made even more challenging when there was a sudden switch to virtual learning, right? Okay, that was my light right here on my thing. Many students got behind with their learning. And many students simply stopped showing up. They stopped showing up to online class. And that's a whole nother topic right there. That's not a part of my video tonight, but that is a whole nother topic that you mentioned, I captain, but that's another battle in itself. But a lot of students got lost. And when I say lost, not physically, possibly physically, but a lot of students just stopped showing up to class. They stopped showing up. Right. I agree, Angel. American students were falling behind the world before that's what I'm saying. There were already some learning gaps. And so, let me see if I can pull this up. Hold on, y'all. I just had something up and it went away. I want to talk about just a few things tonight. And this is an ongoing topic. And so by no means is this the end all be all. But there was a report that came out. The report that came out. I'm actually reading some information from this news source, Education Week. And the title of the article says, "The Pandemic Missing." Okay, they're calling them the pandemic missing. Hundreds of thousands of students did not go back to school. Listen to this, y'all. Very alarming. And this is a crisis that I don't see a lot of people talking about. School districts right now. And this is why, if you're a parent, if you're raising children or you have children that are in the school system, you need to know and stay tuned to what is happening. Like I said, it's the same thing. We talk about national news, global news. Do you know what's happening in your local community? Do you know the decisions? If you have, and taxpayer dollars go towards the Board of Education and the school system. So whether or not we have children who are in the public school system, You still have a right to know where your tax dollars are being spent, what decisions are being made, right? But this is why I say it's good to know and to find out and to tune in and tap in to what's happening in your local community, what decisions are being made. Okay, right now, a lot of school districts are planning their budget for the following school year, the following fiscal year. And so, they're earmarking money to address pandemic learning loss. It's just, it goes deep, y'all. It's too much for me to even cover in one video, but I just want to make you aware of this so that you can do your own research as well. Okay, listen to this, y'all. I want to talk about the article. I'm not sure, I captain. You may want to find out if your local district, even if you can return to in-person meetings, and find out, if you can attend in person, or find out, how you can watch it online, because I know there are some parts where there may be a closed meeting just among the members, but then they also make available some parts of the meeting that the public can attend, whether it's in person or virtually. So you just have to, find out what's happening in your local area. And that just may mean, calling them and asking them, hey, why can't I see it, or why isn't it airing? How can I get it? Okay, listen to this, y'all. There was an example that was used, and it said this one young lady, she'd be a senior right now, preparing for graduation in a few months, probably leading her school's modern dance troupe and taking art classes. Okay, that would have been her normal schedule, right? But listen, y'all, instead, the student hasn't taken a single class in what used to be her high school since the height of the pandemic. She vanished from the Massachusetts public school roll in 2021 and has been, from an administrative standpoint, unaccounted for since then. And that's really the focus and the topic for this video, how there are so many students, y'all, who are unaccounted for since this pandemic, whether that be physically or virtually. If they're still at the time, if they were still continuing online classes, they just stopped showing up. And I don't know what efforts were made to find these students or locate these students, but for some reason or another, they pretty much just dropped out. Now, I won't say dropped out like they just dropped out of school, but they stopped attending the virtual school, and there is no record of them re-enrolling in any other school district or even returning to their current school. Nope. Have y'all heard anyone talking about this? This is not a story being talked about, but why is that? Why is that, you think? Listen, y'all. So this young lady, a student, it sounds like if the pandemic weren't, had it not been for the pandemic, the student, would have been preparing for graduation in a few months, leading her school's modern dance troupe, taking art classes. Instead, she has not taken a single class in what used to be her high school since the height of the pandemic. She vanished from the Massachusetts public school roll in 2021 and has been, from an administrative standpoint, unaccounted for since then. She is among hundreds of thousands. Y'all, when I tell you the number, it's going to blow your mind, okay? She is among hundreds of thousands of students around the country who disappeared from public school. And I have a story, even after I talk about this, y'all, one that I think is very concerning. And it really has me wondering, okay, if they're doing this, then what else are they going to try to do? So please stick around. By no means am I finished. Please stick around and hear what I have to share, y'all. Says she is among hundreds of thousands. Okay, not 10, 20, 30, not a few thousand. She is among hundreds of thousands. She is among hundreds of thousands of students around the country who disappeared, y'all, from public schools during the pandemic and did not resume their studies elsewhere. Where did these students go? Imagine you have someone in the 6th grade, all of a sudden virtual learning. They're, having to go to school online. and they stop coming. But then when it's time to re-enroll or when it's time to return to, for example, in-person learning, that student is still unaccounted for. And then there is no record that the family re-enrolled the student in any other school district. Y'all, please tell me, how does this happen? How does one just lose track? I don't want to say one, but how do school districts, right? How does a school district lose track of a student like that? Okay, I don't hear do y'all hear anyone talking about this anywhere? Listen, y'all, hundreds of thousands, okay? An analysis, listen to this, y'all. An analysis by the Associated Press, Stanford University's Big Local News Project, and Stanford education professor Thomas D. found that an estimated 230,000 students in 21 states whose absences could not be accounted for. Did y'all just hear what I said? This research, right? And you can search the internet and find it. They found an estimated 230,000 students in 21 states whose absences could not be accounted for. These students didn't move out of state, and they didn't sign up for private school or homeschool, according to publicly available data. In short, the information I'm reading says they are missing 230, at least, y'all. There could be more, right? But based on the research, they're saying that roughly an estimated 230,000 students in 21 states whose absences could not be accounted for. These students did not move out of state. They didn't sign up for private or homeschool, according to publicly available data. And in other words, they are missing. It's sad, right? It's sad. It seemed like it used to be against the law, right? If they weren't going to school, they would have systems in place to check in on it. Okay, let me see if it talks about the school. That's a good question. I'm not talk about the schools, but talk about the states where this is happening. Listen, y'all, missing, okay, and I quote missing, it says, missing students received crisis level attention in 2020 after the pandemic closed schools nationwide. In the years since, they have become largely a budgeting problem. School leaders and some state officials worried aloud about the fiscal challenges their district faced if these students didn't come back. So just in case you knew or not, based on the enrollment, okay, that's how the Board of Education, that's how they allot and create the budget for the school based on the enrollment. So guess what, y'all? Enrollment is down. Okay, that's not only going to affect teaching positions. There'll be less teachers, which could they may have to lose teachers based on enrollment, which could in turn cause overcrowded classrooms. And it could also affect the budget of the school. The school could lose a significant amount of money if their enrollment is down, in this case, even due to missing students, okay? So that's why I said right now, okay, thank you, Angel, said true, yes. So listen, y'all, missing students received crisis level attention in 2020 after the pandemic closed schools nationwide. In the years since, they have become largely a budgeting problem. School leaders and some state officials worried aloud about the fiscal challenges their districts faced if these students didn't come back. Each student represents money. Each student represents money from the city, state, and federal government. Each student, y'all, represents money from the city, that's your local community, your state, whatever state you live in, the federal government. That's three entities or three bodies or whatever you want to call it that allot money for each student, okay? 230,000 based on this number, based on this research, 230,000 students are missing. Think about how much money that is, y'all. Okay. The article says, and this is from educationweek.org, gone is the urgency to find the students who left, those eligible for free public education, but who are not receiving any schooling at all. Early in the pandemic, school staff went door to door to reach and re-engage kids. Most such efforts have ended. Okay. Everyone, here's a quote from a New York City parent and representative on the city's panel for educational policy who had this to say, and I quote, "Everyone is talking about declining enrollment, but no one is talking about who's leaving the system and why." Okay, that's a whole nother topic, y'all. You may want to do your research on this as well. A lot of students, not only the ones who are unaccounted for, right? That, of course, when they do the data, they're going to say, based on this number of missing, we consider that they left the district because they're not accounted for, right, in the system. Parents, even now, okay, and this is happening all over the country, not just here in Georgia. Parents, for whatever reason, whether they're moving, whether it's some distrust, whether it is, the need or want to homeschool, there is almost like an exodus, right? It almost feels like an exodus of students leaving the public school system and either enrolling in private school, charter schools. Someone mentioned school choice earlier. Families are taking advantage of school choice where you can do the application. Sometimes it's a lottery process, but with school choice, a family can select a school outside of the one that they're zoned for based on where they live, and depending on different criteria, that student may or may not be able to go to a school outside of their normal zone area, okay, based on where they live. But again, the information says everyone is talking about declining enrollment, but no one is talking about who's leaving the system and why, okay? No one, he said, is forthcoming. It is a problem that is not being discussed. The missing kids identified by AP and Stanford represent far more than a number. The analysis highlights thousands of students who may have dropped out of school or missed out on the basics of reading and school routines in kindergarten and first grade. Okay, that's thousands of students who matter to someone. Thousands of students who need help re-entering school, work, and everyday life. Okay, we pray that these students are okay. I don't know. I can't imagine as a parent, how is it that, and I know I want to be very careful when I say this because I know families go through different things, but when it comes to education, for your child to just vanish from the school system and the parent not communicate that with the school, I don't know how that can be explained. I don't know why that was the case, but it just seemed like there's something that could be done. I pray that these students and their families are okay. And there's no hurt, harm, or danger that came to them, but it just makes you wonder, like, really what happened, and why isn't enough being done? Why isn't anything being done or enough being done to help these students and their family? Okay. Someone said, okay, the chief executive officer of Baltimore's public schools said, and I quote, "That's the stuff that no one wants to talk about. We want to say it's outside stuff that's keeping kids from returning to school," she said, "such as caring for younger siblings," okay, which was a very real thing. If no one can be at school, you may have some older kids, middle school kids, high school kids having to care for their younger brother and sister, especially if the daycare is closed as well, right? So according to the information they're saying, people want to say it was outside stuff, right? Outside factors that's keeping kids from returning to school. Hold on just a minute, y'all. Okay. So they want to say it's outside stuff that's keeping kids from returning to school. She says, such as caring for younger siblings or the need to work, but she worries teens sometimes lack caring adults at school who can discuss their concerns about life. Okay, maybe that would be their counselors, maybe trusted teachers, people like that. Okay, and here's a quote that said, "That's really scary." Okay, there's a suggestion that says the data suggests they need to understand more about children who aren't in school and how that will affect their development. Here's a quote that says, "This is leading evidence that tells us we need to be looking more carefully at the kids who are no longer in public schools." Okay. Over months of reporting, the AP learned of students and families avoiding school for a range of reasons. Listen to the reasons, y'all. Some are still afraid of this disease, this sickness going around, right? The C word, y'all know what I'm talking about. Some are still afraid of that, okay? Some, it says, are homeless or have left the country. Some students couldn't study online and found jobs instead. And the article also says that some slid into depression. Okay, and I do know, just based on the research that I've done, that schools are trying to, money is being given and allocated towards more mental health counseling for students, teachers, staff, adults, and children in the school system and their families. During the prolonged online learning, some students fell so far behind developmentally and academically that they no longer knew how to behave or learn at school. Now, I will say this, y'all. Some students excel during online learning. I don't want to just come from, yes, this is a very important topic to cover, but I also want to make mention of that some students were able to transition smoothly into online learning, and they were able to, continue their learning. Some were able to even excel. So I don't want to make it seem like online learning was just not good for 100% of the students. There were some families and children who were very successful. I know that my daughter, she did very well. We kept her advancing forward. Of course, my daughter is in elementary school, so, we pretty much taught her she could do, several things independently, but we were there to help her so that she would not get behind. But I do know, and I want to recognize that that may not be the story for everyone, okay? Oh, okay. All right. Angel said, let's see. Hold on, y'all. Let me see. Let me go to the comment. Right. There is some of that going on as well. Captain bullying. Okay. Yeah. So, there were some students who loved it. There were some students older, from what I knew, and, that they were able to go to school because, they had the virtual learning and, based on their schedule, they were able to go to school like in the morning into the early afternoon. And then because they were virtual online, that also gave them the opportunity to work and pick up some extra hours and money. Okay. All right. Let me keep reading, y'all. Let me know, is this information helpful? Or is it giving you something to think about? Please give it a thumbs up. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Okay. And then the article goes on to just talk about, but the data showed 230,000 students who were neither in private school nor registered for homeschool. Their absences could not be explained by population loss either, such as falling birth rates or families who moved out of state. Okay. States where kindergarten is optional were more likely to have larger numbers of unaccounted for students, suggesting the missing also include many young learners kept home instead of starting school. Okay. California alone, it says, showed over 150,000 missing students in the data, and New York had nearly 60,000. Okay, someone earlier was asking about blue states or red states. We can both say what California and New York are, what blue states we would say. Those are the only two states that I see mentioned. Listen, y'all, overall public school enrollment fell by over 700,000 students between the years 2019, 2020, between the school years 2019, 2020, and 21, 22 school years in the 21 states plus Washington, D.C. that provided the necessary data. Okay. They talk about California, New York. I don't see any other states that were mentioned. Okay. I'll put a link to this article so you all can read it. Okay. The last article that I want to cover, y'all, and then I got to soon go. This one is going to blow your mind. There's another crisis going on in education. This is happening not only in Georgia, in some parts of Georgia, but around the nation. Dealing with students who are doing things like vaping, other drugs at school, possible overdoses. So much so that I just recently read some information that schools, there are some schools in Georgia who are stocking up on Narcan, that's Narcan, as a way to combat or, try to provide some type of help or aid in the event that there's some type of medical emergency to students. All right, listen to this, y'all. This story actually comes out of Metro Atlanta. And the article says, again, schools are stocking up on Narcan, okay? And opiate overdoses. So there's an opioid crisis. I hope I'm saying this right. I don't even know how to say this word, y'all. Opioid. I hope that's right. Opioid. OPIOID. As opioid overdoses increase across the country, okay, some Metro Atlanta school districts are stocking up on the life-saving drug Narcan. Now, listen to this, y'all. Some of y'all just missed what I said. The schools that are supposed to be a safe place for teaching and learning, right? Schools are now stocking up, and this is something else you can research, right? This is out of Metro Atlanta. Schools are now stocking up on Narcan, which it says is a life-saving drug. Okay. One school system in Georgia, Fulton County Schools, is the latest to announce it will soon be on hand in every school. Okay. Here's a quote by the director of the district's health services department, who told 11 Alive, and I quote, "Looking at things that might be coming or we might have to anticipate or have to respond to, we certainly want to be prepared and ready." So schools are stocking up on a life-saving drug used in opioid overdoses. I hope I'm saying this word right, y'all. I don't talk about this topic too often, so I don't know how to really say the word, but I hope I'm saying it right. But it's very concerning. Listen to this, y'all. Again, I'm looking around, right? Certainly fentanyl is one of those trends that we're tracking, said the director, let's see. This person said that their role is to keep aware of any medical trends, any health trends, so that as a district, they can be prepared, we can be proactive, and we can be ready to respond, okay? Yes, in Georgia, they do, captain, okay? Wow. Meanwhile, another school district, Henry County Schools, is to call 911 when it is suspected that someone is under the influence. Okay, while the cost of naloxone and training on how to use it can be a barrier, various districts told 11 Alive they've relied on grant funding, outside organizations, or partnerships with the drug maker to supply their schools. Okay. Dr. Kathleen Toomey, who is the commissioner of the Georgia Department of Public Health, has a standing order for naloxone, NALOXONE, on the state's website, and a spokesperson for DPH confirms some public health districts are also working to provide training to school nurses who would administer naloxone. Okay. Another quote by the Department of Public Health in Georgia said, "It is, and I quote, it is an unfortunate reality that overdoses are affecting Georgians, some as young as school age." Okay, this is part of the crisis that I'm telling you all. There are multiple crises, but this is another crisis that I want you to be aware of, okay? Naloxone is a life-saving medication that can reverse an overdose from opioids, including heroin, fentanyl, and prescription opioid medications. Naloxone, administered as part of an emergency protocol, can prevent deaths by reversing life-threatening effects of opioids and overdoses. Okay, so again, y'all, here's another quote. It says, listen to this, y'all. It says, while nearly all the local school districts 11 Alive spoke with confirmed they've never had to use Narcan to date, Meadows believes the life-saving drug should be as available as the EpiPen or an AED. Now, do you all agree or disagree? I don't know. It's just kind of like, you wouldn't think that the school would have to have something like that on hand for overdoses. It's just a weird thing. Like, what are they trying to do? Why are they doing that? Y'all let me know your thoughts in the comments, okay? Here's a quote by let's see. I believe this is, again, the director, who said, and I quote, let me see. This is a quote by Meadows. I'm sorry. I want to make sure that I'm speaking about the right thing. Okay, so I didn't go back. I need to mention this. I'm sorry. Emergent, EMERGENT, the maker of Narcan, confirmed there is a donation program coordinated through the nonprofit organization Direct Relief, y'all. But when 11 Alive messaged the program, an auto response indicated the program is on hold with Narcan in high demand and no timeline for when it will resume. Okay. While nearly all of, hold on, y'all, I'm looking around. Says while nearly all of the local school districts 11 Alive spoke with confirm they've never had to use Narcan to date, Meadows believes the life-saving drug should be as available as an EpiPen or AED. Stocking it, here's a quote, stocking it in school districts, putting it in other public places, making it available even of our local pharmacies could really make the difference in someone's life, okay? And then they go on to talk about different school districts. So the point that I want to make is, so now school districts can use whatever discretion, hey, I think this person may be under the influence, or if this is happening, school districts can just administer something like that. That's kind of scary. Surely they would have to ensure that people receive the proper training. But again, y'all, think about it. These are the things that, and I didn't even, these are just, I touched this very lightly, right? These are just some of the crises that are happening now in public education. You have, according to data, you have over 230,000 during the pandemic, during the pandemic, they stopped going to class. There's no record that they re-enrolled in another school district, private school, homeschool. They're just missing. Okay. I told you all that schools right now, tap into what's happening at your local school district, but schools are setting their budgets for next school year. They're allocating funds based on school enrollment. Well, guess what? If enrollment is down, that means that they're going to maybe possibly have to take away teaching and other positions, which could cause overcrowding in classrooms, amongst many other challenges, right? It could cause overcrowding in classrooms, and like I said, a lot of other challenges. And it takes, schools could lose funding, right? And then, what I just reported on about how there are students who are turning to drugs, whether it had anything to do with the pandemic or not, I'm not sure. Some people may say that it did. There are some that may say it was other factors, but the schools right now also dealing with crisis with students doing things like vaping, using drugs at school. All of these things, and there are others, y'all, have created and are continuing to create a crisis in the public school system. Okay, I hope that something that I share, information that I shared in tonight's video, maybe sparked a light that said, hey, let me go and research this, let me share this information, because unfortunately, y'all, these are things that are happening that are not being talked about. Okay. Yes, a lot of people say, hey, this is a different day and age. That social media, TikTok, have just, really gotten into the minds of some of these students, and is causing a lot of havoc in the school as well. Okay. Think about what I said, y'all. Please share your comments. This is a real crisis. Parents, we must protect our children. There needs to be more done on a local level, state level, federal level. But where does it start, y'all? Does it start with you and I? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. What should be done? What should there be more of? What should parents be doing now, in your opinion? Okay. I gotta go, y'all. Listen, thank you so much for tuning in to this Monday Night Live. I will be live every Monday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I may have to change Fridays, y'all, because I have something else that I'm doing now on Fridays. And 6:30 p.m. is not a good time for me to go live. Hey, Junior Mustang, thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you go back and look at this video. I talked about a couple of topics in the beginning concerning East Palestine, Ohio. But then I talked about a very, very important topic related to the crisis that we're seeing now happening at schools across America. Okay. Y'all be blessed. Thank you so much for trusting me to bring you news and information. Stay tuned. I'll be uploading videos all week on the channel. Make sure you check our community tab. Y'all, the channel is 2 years old now. It's such a blessing. And I want to say thank you all so much for your support. I started this channel. I created this channel on February 26, 2021. You can go and check out the About page. It's right there. And y'all, when I think about the growth of this channel and the support of this channel, I am just overwhelmed. So thank you so much. Yay! That's right, I Captain. Thank you so much. I appreciate each and every one of you all. Be blessed. Stay safe. Make sure you know what's happening in your area. Keep your head on swivel when you're out and about. Be safe. Keep preparing, y'all. We got a lot to talk about. A lot of things are happening, but everything is going to be all right, okay? Thank you all so much. Thank you, Angel, for being here. Thank you, each and every one of you. I appreciate you all. And with that, on that note, y'all, I'm going to say good night. Be blessed and stay tuned for more news and commentary you can use right here on Andrea Speaks TV.